I think seldom actors and or stunt performers ever get a one-on-one fight where it is 100% me. I would love to see a season 4 for everybody else, but I'm also happy if that's kind of the way that it ends. Hey, I lose auditions all the time because sometimes it's not even you. I mean, working with her, she's such a professional. She's amazing at what she does. I absolutely loved being in every scene with her.
If you have any words of advice for people that are trying to get into the stunt acting field, people out there?
I do.
Do you have a favorite stunt that you've done, or one that's been the most challenging, you'd say, for you over the years?
A favorite stunt?
Or something where you've done where you finish and you're like, damn, I did that.
Yeah, I did that.
Like, I thought this was going to be super challenging, and it was, but I pulled this off, you know?
I wouldn't say it's a stunt, but my favorite, my most, the moment that I will hold to my heart for the rest of my life is the fight in season 3 between myself and
Strickland. The Strickland character?
Strickland.
Yeah, I was gonna save the best for last. When we talked, I want you to talk about that.
I know.
I have that fight. I know. No, it's all good because I was building up to that, but I'm cool talking about it because season 3, obviously, there was a gap between season 2 and 3 because you guys changed the networks and all that, and obviously it's like Warriors, the show. It talked to Brett and it talked to so many people about this. It's the show that just keeps on kicking, and we're as the fans pulling for it and really want to see a season 4, obviously. If that's still possible, but Li's her whole journey from basically this girl off the boat to what she becomes later, it's so phenomenal, and she has that huge fight with Strickland at the end, so you're like and spoiler alert for people if you haven't seen it already, but we'll show it, but it's so that's the one you were like, because that's your one-on-one, right? Is that why it's so near and dear to you? Your near and dear, your one-on-one fight?
Yeah, I don't think I think seldom actors and or stunt performers ever get a one-on-one fight where it is 100% me, and it's the longest. You don't get a one-on-one fight. Sometimes it's 1 versus 5, or but one-on-one fight where it's just you and this guy. And it's the do or die type thing, and it was such a beautifully choreographed piece, and everything about it from beginning to end, it just flew. It was such a fluid fight, and I don't think I've ever felt so good with a fight before. When we finished it after the second day, I was just like, this is it. I mean, it was exhausting. We were so tired, and Strickland stunt double is actually a good mate of mine who also was on Wednesday season 1. And him and I, we really fight well together, and so to do this fight and to after the second day we were just it was 2 12-hour days. We were exhausted, we were drained, but it was that feeling of holy crap, we did it.
Wow.
We did it,
Yeah, I did that.
Okay, you know what? So since you bring it up, we might as well show it now, and then you could talk about it, because I was gonna have you do commentary about the fight, because this was a fight. When I saw it, I knew it was coming, but it was just I was when it finally came, I was like, oh man, it was it was come on, man, I know Li's gonna pull this off, and it's oh man, it was so dramatic. All right, let's pull it up for a second. It was such a good fight.
What's going on?
I'm just so grateful they gave me something like this. So it's like a trophy fight. It really is a trophy fight for me.
Yeah, it's a badass fight, man. And she comes in kind of already taking the one guy out.
Yeah, the big tree.
Yeah, wait, so I meant to ask you, that's what I wanted to ask you. With this guy, was there more story to the guy you just took out? I felt like they must have had something that they wanted to do extra, because he starts up with the fight I showed earlier where he has the whip, and then you never really see him again in the season. So was there
No. Well, he's just meant to be the giant tree that's the security guard for Strickland, and he really tries to get a toy, which is what raised Li. because him, Strickland and his team are the ones that killed all the girls and her best friend.
Right.
And so she was like, I'm gonna take this tree down first to show you I'm coming for you, man.
Right. No. It was badass, man. And it makes it even more just like ominous because obviously Li's a mute, so so you're just
I call him a tree because he's like almost 2 meters tall, this guy. He is ginormous.
Yeah, no. And he looks at, even on screen, his presence was crazy. I was just like, dude, when I first saw him, I'm like, wait, was there more to this guy? But yeah, okay. Yeah, like, he was like a badass. He was a badass enforcer.
Yeah.
But Li at this point, like, super serious. So, like, you say it was easy acting with your eyes, but sometimes I'm looking like, man, you really had to just get that look down because you can't just come in looking like, nah. It's got to be like, yeah, your intent, like, you've got to get that look like, I'm killing this guy. And that's the look you have.
So that's actually something, like, I think just having Li's backstory in my head the whole time, and also just the journey of season 1, 2, and 3. Like all the stuff that they had to go through, and all the people that were all their friends, the stuff that have died throughout it. It was kind of easy to bring that out. I think it got a lot easier in season 3.
Yeah, there you go. The rage that she's got, right? And she's just bringing it out. And I like this part because he's like, oh, this chick's going to be a little more challenging than I thought. I thought I was just going to take it out.
Yeah.
And then you get that cut on.
He made it a bit smooth at the beginning, He was like, oh, it's going to be easy. But like, when you could see when he started to get that fear in his eye, it was like, okay, it's on.
That's fear.
Yeah, you got a little chunk of that side. He's like, uh-oh. He's like, I gotta step this up. She's out here. She's out for blood.
Yeah, this is where he got a bit serious.
Oh, man. That was fun. It was like, no. I was like,
that's a cheap shot.
Yeah, he cheated. I was like, but
if I had known, I would have thrown a chair at him or something, I
was gonna say, right? It was like that, but that was the only way you could win at that point because you were just too, like, so you had to throw the thing at your head. It's like, and then it totally disrupted your flow. And it was like, well, we say in Krav Maga, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I was like,
that's true. That's true.
Is reality, but that does suck. I was like,
that's true.
And then he has that line where it's like, I was like, give you back the sword. It's like, you came all this way. And I was like,
Good. You came all this way. You'd be ashamed to give up now. Good Lord.
Initially, they wanted him to throw the sword at, like, a very disrespectful throw, But he, I think throughout the conversations, they were like, actually, just pass it to her because it makes it stronger. So yeah, that was.
Got it. I was like, and that was the start of that episode. So everyone's like, so you gotta wait for the intro, and then you see later the aftermath. So I gotta ask, was there anything? Obviously, there's probably some stuff, but anything major like on the cutting room floor from that fight that you remember was like, oh, we did a couple other alternate takes, or that's pretty much what you see is what it was.
We pretty much kept the fight exactly the same from beginning to end. The only difference was because when we do the initial creating of, when the guys create the fight and then we do it in the stunt space, the room is obviously a lot bigger. So we have to work with the little crevices that we have, and we have to change some angles and maybe change a few moves to make sure that we're moving in the right part of the room. But my favorite move in this whole fight is the kick off the wall.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, this one when you're like, that part.
That one.
Yeah, you're going around the one. No, it's badass, man. That choreo is crazy. Right.
Oh man, the floor was so damn slippery, so it was so easy to do that. I was just like,
nice.
But then the rest of it, when you're walking on the floor, you're like sliding, so they had to put a lot of the carpets down.
Okay.
But it was a good fight. It
was really a good fight. It was like, oh man, but like, yeah, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen season 3, first of all, people need to just watch all the seasons on Netflix and support it, and for the last ditch effort to get a season 4. Yeah, so but I wanted to go to backwards a little bit because I wanted to talk about, there's another fight, obviously, because you basically and a toy are like, pretty much frickin' frack, like for at least for the 2 seasons, and then you get sent off to Nellie's farm. But there's another fight here where you're backing her up, and I really like this fight too. Now, granted, a toy fights most of this, but it's just, but like, of course, like you're there, just like ready to go. You're like, "What's up?" Like, it's like, "Don't come at my girl."
I'm like the little chihuahua.
Right? Yeah, man. You're like, yeah. So I was gonna ask you, what was it like, working with Olivia? Because obviously you guys work the most together. You're always with her. Like, how was that?
She's one of my closest friends. She's like a big sister to me. Like we were actually just chatting yesterday.
Oh, sweet.
we talk quite often, and I mean, working with her, she's such a professional. She's amazing at what she does. I absolutely loved being in every scene with her because, again, she turns whatever's supposed to be acting into something so real that all my reactions to her when we're having a one-on-one or something, it's so genuine because, you just go straight into like, when you're watching her act, you can't help but be in that moment with her. So, she's a phenomenal actress and she's an amazing friend. And, but her and I just had so much fun on each season. We just got like closer and closer, it was so lovely.
Yeah, no, I can tell. You can tell you guys are close, obviously on screen, but I figured off screen too, because the person you're working with the most, you probably get to know them very well, right? So. Oh,
for sure. Yeah, we hung out a lot, and actually, when I went to Vancouver last year, I went and visited her as well. So yeah, we see each other as much as we can. We talk as much as we can. But yeah, she was just such a lovely scene partner to have, and I'm so grateful that I had her as one for 3 seasons.
Yeah. So if there is a season 4, do you have any wishes for it or anything like you would hope to see?
I hope it happens. I really do hope it happens, obviously, because it's an amazing show. And there's a few things. I mean, I would love to see Olivia kick ass more because she really is a phenomenal, like she moves really well. And most of the fights that she does, bar like a few stunts, she moves kind of like it's her, it's not her double. So I'd love to see Olivia do more bigger fights. But I also like Chen's character. Chen's character is really cool.
No, for sure.
I do like the whole,
the whip chain kind of, the chain whip thing.
Yeah. I think season 3 was I'm sad right now that we're in such lingering moments of whether there's going to be a season 4 or not. But obviously, for all selfish reasons as well, I'm like, I kind of like the way that it is right now. I know everybody's still at the edge of their seat a little bit too, but there's so many plot twists that happened in season 3 that I just go, I'm like, I would love to see a season 4 for everybody else, but I'm also happy if that's kind of the way that it ends. So I know.
Although there's a couple things that were left you're like left on a cliffhanger, 100%.
But that's exactly what season 2 was too. They were like, we might not do a season 3, and they left it at that, and they were like, you have to use your imagination if that's the case. But I do think that if it turned into a movie, it would be a bit more realistic.
Yeah, that's because certain people's like, and spoiler alert once again, like I do want to see Chow's fate. I'd like to see, and where things go with Mai Ling now and Assam, because they're finally together as brother and sister at the end. So but hey, listen, I tell everyone, fingers, toes across everything. One more interesting fact I read about, or maybe you said in another interview, which I didn't know this, but when Li goes to Nellie's farm, that was because you had the gig with Cirque du Soleil, right? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Cirque du Soleil. How did you get involved? Because I have a friend, he's actually a martial artist. Him and his wife did a stint on Cirque du Soleil. In fact, I think that's how they met. My friend Philip, who has a school out in Vegas, actually.
Yes, I know Philip.
Oh, do you know Philip Hagen? Yeah.
I know Philip and Uzi.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, I met them in China. We did a thing out there like in 2019, and I met him and his wife, and like we've stayed friends. And when he did the opening of his school in Vegas back in like right before COVID, like 2019, I went out there.
Yeah.
And so anyway, they were involved in Cirque du Soleil. They're saying she's a contortionist and all that, and their kid is phenomenal too. Like one of their kids is like he's a little badass.
He's amazing. I know.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. You know him. But anyway, not to get too far off. How did you get into the world of Cirque du Soleil then?
So I had auditioned for Cirque as a dancer. Probably like, now I don't. In 2015, maybe.
Okay.
I think about in 2015, I had auditioned as a dancer, and we were about 250 of us at an audition, and I made it in the top 8. So it was like a 2-day audition, and they had taken out of all the people, they had taken 8 people they wanted to keep on the database, and I was one of them. Probably because not on my dancing skills was not that great, but I think it was more because I was versatile. So I had the gymnastics, I had a bit of the tricking, I had the dancing. So all of that kind of meshed together, and then I was also Asian, so it helped. It helped as well. And so I got onto the top 8, and we were on the database for many years. And they say you can get called tomorrow, or you can get called in 10 years, you know. And I got called 8 years after being on the database.
8 years.
Wow.
So yeah, they were like, "There's a stunt show. We've been following your journey, and we see that you're doing stunts now. We would love for you to be a part of it. Like, are you keen?" And I was like, "Definitely." But at the time, it was season 2.
You were filming
season 2, yeah.
Right.
And I had gotten very close with everybody, and I know JT or Jonathan Chopper was talking to me, and he's like, "Man, I really love what you're doing with the character. I love all the fights that we're doing with you. Like, I really want to grow your character more." And he really wanted to give me more for season 2, but it was still in early stages at the beginning of season 2, and I got that call from Cirque. So I kind of went to JT and I was like, "Listen, I have some bad news or some good news, depending. But I got offered a contract with Cirque du Soleil, and I don't know what to do." And he kind of just sat me down, and he was like, "Listen, if you were my daughter, I would tell you go." And he's like, "Don't worry about it. Like, we will sort something out, and we won't kill your character."
That's awesome that they didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, "We'll just put her away for a bit." So he kind of had to rewrite that at the beginning. That they send me off to Nelly's farm, and just, there I go.
Right, yeah, because when I was watching, I was like, "Oh, she's leaving?" I was like, "Wait, we need live back." And then you come back.
He did me a solid. He did me a solid.
He did you solid, and then he built it up for season 3 so you could have your finale fight. Oh.
I know. How great. It's really, for me, like, my journey of Warrior, like, all the way to season 3 has been just a dream. And I can't complain about it at all. So that's why I go, for selfish reasons, I go, like, I'm so happy with the way that things turned out for me. But obviously for everybody else and for all the fans, I go, I really hope that there is a season 4 or a movie, so that there's some kind of ending that nobody has to be like sitting on the edge of their seat for the rest of their life.
Right. So see, the comparison for me is like Cirque du Soleil so challenging. At least when I've only seen like 2 of the shows. I remember once years ago, but like some of those stunts and stuff are so amazing. Like literally, like someone jumps onto a seesaw and the other guy goes like feet high in the air and flips all the way back down to hit at the perfect point. Like, what kind of stuff were you doing on your stint at that?
So our one was completely different. It was not a typical Cirque du Soleil show. It was really aimed for a younger audience. It was really stunts. So it was fighting, it was fire, it was like electric bikes. There was a little bit of dancing. They wanted to try something new. So we were going to be the generation that brought in a completely new thing for Cirque. And it was a trial and error show for them. They were really like, we're not going to do the traditional Cirque. There was no traditional circus acts.
Oh, okay.
So that was very different for all of us. And so we had creation period in Montreal, and then we all moved to Las Vegas for a year and a bit, I think it was. The show had potential. Let's call it that. The show had potential.
You have potential. You have... Oh, boy.
It didn't really catch on.
It was a miss.
Didn't really catch on. I gotcha. Well, listen, you have the experience though, so that's amazing.
Oh, it was amazing. I met Philip. I went to his school as well for a little bit. I have two really like good friends that I met on Cirque. One is actually he's a kung fu guy, Terrell. I don't know if you're Avatar Kota. You must know of him.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, he's like one of my best mates, you know. So
nice.
I for me, it was the show that I learned so much on. I made lifelong friends, and also like for Philip and them, like I still follow them to this day. I'd love to go back to school and learn more.
Oh my God, yeah. That guy's a wealth of knowledge, man. His plug to K-Star for those watching.
People know him, and his wife, I went to her contortion classes because I kind of used to do contortion a little bit, and she's crazy. She always broke me, but I mean, it was amazing.
Literally, she can eat like food off of her feet because she can pull her whole leg all the way around. Like stuff was like, and then their son is like does the same stuff. I'm like, man, that family's just so talented.
The son is a combination of both of them, which I find mind blowing. I'm like, oh my God, this kid's gonna be amazing.
So when really quick story, when we were in China, that's when he was. Oh man, so it's like 5 years ago. You can imagine he was younger, but he was still just kind of starting, but he was still doing all the tumbling, all the contortionists and stuff. So we all were at the Shaolin Temple, and then there's a point where if you want to go in front and do like some forms. So of course Philip had his son go out and do it, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, this little 5 or 6 year old kid is up there doing this thing." It was so cool, you know? Yeah.
Little Nelson.
Little Nelson. It's like who's a star on his own, but yeah. Anyway,
but they have another kid, Tommy, right? Isn't Tommy gonna also do the same thing?
I'm sure he will. It's like, but it's so funny, like the degrees of separation in the industry, right?
Crazy. Oh, well, I love it.
Cool.
I love it.
So I'll start wrapping it up. I wanted to just ask you like the last couple questions. If you have any words of advice for people that are trying to get into the stunt, stunt acting field, because I read the same thing and people have different experiences. But any words of advice from you to?
I do. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very hard, and you're gonna fail because that's part of the journey, you know. And I always say, like, out of the 10 auditions that you do, you're probably gonna lose about 8 of them. But that's where you don't. You cannot give up. You absolutely cannot give up, and you need to keep persevering because that's where your big breakthrough happens. Because for me, it was like right at the beginning, like I said, it's like a roller coaster. You get some and you lose some. And the part of that whole thing is to just never give up and continue pushing through because there is light at the end of the tunnel, which is such a cliche thing to say, but it really is. And if you continue to work your ass off, like there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to make it. And even to this day, I lose auditions all the time because sometimes it's not even you. Sometimes you're just not looking for what you look like, you know? So I just go like, whenever things go wrong or they're saying no, like you just go, cool. You know what? That was a cool experience. I learned a lot from that. On to the next one. And just continue to do that.
Right. Very nice. So what about upcoming projects, things happening that you can talk about on the way besides
right now, not really. Right now, I'm auditioning for a few things like commercial wise. But for shows, there's a few days here and there that they want me for, but like nothing crazy at this point in time. There might be a few jobs, but for us, like even as stunt people, I always say, until you're in the country and you've signed that contract, you don't have the job. So I always just go like, don't get too excited and don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like just take it easy, train all the time. If you continue to keep yourself busy, like something's going to fall onto your lap because the more you train, the more luck you get, right?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Like anything else. So last question I'll ask you, since you've worked with a lot of people now, anybody that you haven't worked with that you would really, really want to work with on a project, that's stunt-wise, acting-wise? Or
I really still want to work with Jackie Chan, but I feel like he's getting older now. Is he still doing stuff? I don't know.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, you know what? He does do. You know what's so funny? You can talk to Philip too because he does a Jackie Chan stunt. He works with their stunt team and takes people out to Hong Kong and to work with them. So he still
But they don't ever actually meet. They don't actually meet Jackie Chan though, because I know one of my friends actually went and he said like, oh, this time like we didn't get to meet Jackie Chan, and I was like, that sucks. I want to meet Jackie Chan.
Right. For sometimes he may be around, but sometimes he's not. But he does do some projects still. He's just not doing as much on the stunt side, and that's so funny. A couple people that I've asked the same question, they've said Jackie Chan, of course, is like the person.
Oh man, like he could play my dad. I'd be so happy if he played like my dad in a movie, you know?
Yeah.
And we just kick ass together.
You never know, it might happen. Listen, I got to meet Jackie one time. Such a cool guy, such a nice guy. But yeah,
oh man,
talented man. Obviously, he's the GOAT. So
I would love that. Well, who knows? I'm crossing my fingers. Who knows?
Listen, I think anything's possible. I think it could happen. I'm gonna look out. One time we'll see Jackie playing your dad, and I'll be like, "Hey, there's Jackie and Jenny. That's awesome." Or like one of the things where he's teaching you kung fu, and then you go on and take over the legacy. That'd be awesome.
Damn. I think they've done that already. Isn't that the Karate Kid?
Well, they did karate, but that was a son, so you could be the daughter. You know, it's a little different. And technically, that was Will Smith's kid, so it wasn't his kid. So you know,
I need to find the writers of that and be like, I'm the daughter. I'm the long lost daughter.
you could be the Hillary Swank version when they did the Pat Morita one. You could be the Asian Hillary Swank version. Hey, listen, Cobra Kai. Listen, you never know.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
All right. Well, Jenny, thanks so much for doing this. We'll look out obviously Wednesday, season 2, when that comes out, probably in the next year or so, whatever. And we'll just keep looking out for some projects. Hopefully, Warrior season 4, even if they do some flashbacks with Li, you know,
crossing fingers. Yes.
Super crossing fingers, toes, and all that, eyelids. But thanks again for doing this. And we'll
thank you so much for having me. Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty, guys, the final piece of the puzzle, part 2 of my convo with Miss Jenny Umbhau.
Jennifer. Oh!
And yeah, we've still got our fingers, toes, ears, everything crossed for season 4 of Warrior, but it's not looking too good these days. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. And what new projects of Jenny's are you guys looking forward to most? Did her words of advice on getting into the stunt world help any of you guys out? And oh yeah, guys, what's one of your favorite roles that she's played in a show that you like? By the way, have you all hit the like button on this video yet?
Right now, you like me.
Come on, you know you want to do it. And honestly, it really does help me out with this algorithm. This YouTube grind is no joke, but I appreciate you all and I love creating these videos for you. As long as you guys keep giving me the love, we'll keep doing our thing. But you can also help by sharing this video to get it out to more people. And one more thing, hit the bell. I know you guys hear this all the time, but it is important so that you guys get notifications and are up to date on what we drop next, because without that, sometimes you won't even know if I drop a new video. So real important, hit the bell. Okay, I want to thank Miss Jenny Umbhau, of course, for being a part of this video.
Hi, this is Jenny Umbhau. Thank you for watching Kung Fu Chronicles.
And guys, if you missed part 1, here it is over here, along with another video I'm sure you guys are gonna like. Guys, as usual, I'll leave all my socials around here, and here, so you can link up offline. Stay safe, see you in the next round, and of course, keep punching.
Look at this one. Look at that one. Look at